Alright, what is up YouTube? So after running the gauntlet of the Caribbean's version of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, over here by the port, we have arrived in St. Kitts. I am not certain if the name of this town is pronounced Basseterre or Basse-Terre, but it is the capital. It's on the larger island of St. Kitts as opposed to the smaller island of Nevis, and we are going to take a walk through the downtown area first before going back through that massive shopping area that leads out to the boat piers. There are 3 boats here today: our boat, the Norwegian Viva, and the Carnival Dream, all of which are moored in the harbor. So there's quite a lot of tourists today wandering around the city. We'll get a little bit of a feel for it and give you the same as we travel through St. Kitts. So Nevis and St. Kitts started out French, ended up British, which is evident today in the fact that they are driving on the opposite side of the street, which is always a danger from someone coming from the United States or basically anywhere other than Australia and Japan and England, because you end up looking the wrong way. And if you do so, you will get squashed by a car. So make sure to keep that in mind and look in the opposite direction that you're used to when crossing the street, because it can be quite dangerous, especially when they're zipping around. This tree here in the center of Independence Square is enormous. I have Hope walking over there for a bit of scale to show you how large this thing is. I'm not certain as to what type of tree it is, but man, it's massive. The fountain here in the center of Independence Square. Keeping with the trend, it doesn't seem to be operational. We've run across quite a few fountains, both in Martinique and here, that while they're quite nice to look at, are not operational. This is a really great storefront. This old building here in the center of town is actually a bakery, and is just absolutely loaded with character, as are a lot of these buildings down here. I mean, look at this place right here. This is really cool, and the whole place has the feel of a giant beach town, but yet it's a regular city. I mean, we've passed hardware stores and appliance stores, as well as hotels and pharmacies. So not just your usual beachfront shops. This is a place where obviously life is going on and people are living and going through the daily chores of life. The natural beauty of the island here is also on display pretty much everywhere you go. I don't know if you can see it up there behind the church, but the massive mountains that ring the city are cloaked in low clouds right now and just really, really pretty. We're gonna take a walk across over here and wander through the churchyard. So as we make our way here through the St. George churchyard, Hope was just talking about how peaceful it felt here, how much different it felt than being downtown or on the rest of the island, almost like you were stepping back in time, feeling what it was like to be on the island, say 100 years ago. And I certainly echo that sentiment. It definitely feels that way. There's much quieter here and more peaceful, and there's just a feeling of age and of history in the yard of the church. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot, and someplace I would definitely insist that you not miss when you come here, because you will not regret visiting St. George for sure. So we are sort of sneaking in the back entrance here, but the area that we're entering is where all the shops and stores are built along in front of the piers. There are 2 piers that I could see out there. There's 3 boats right now. It looks like there's capacity for 4. And this entire area that we're about to walk through over here is a newly built shopping area to cater to all of the tourists coming in from the cruise ships. And as I alluded to earlier, it is a bit like Gatlinburg, lots of kitschy type stores and shops hawking all kinds of tourist trinkets and things like that, as well as a bunch of outdoor cafes serving up alcohol and food and beverages. So I'll swing the camera around here in a second and give you a bird's eye view of what's on offer here at the cruise pier in St. Kitts. Quite a few of the shops and stores in here, you'll notice, are advertising duty-free items. There's a no-rush bar here in the center that looks to be very, very popular. A ton of people sitting over there enjoying the day. There also appears to be quite a lot of jewelry stores here selling some really high-end stuff. Rolex and Omega and Hublot watches and things like that. So I suppose there are people that come on vacation and drop $10,000 on a watch, but seems a little bit odd to me. Was a gentleman back here who objected to me filming. I think maybe he was selling items that were not legitimately manufactured. Perhaps displaying some copyrighted material, but nonetheless, I was acquiescent to his wishes and stopped filming, but I'm pretty sure that's what was going on. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I do not understand the logic behind buying alcohol on vacation. It's readily available everywhere in the United States. Are you really saving that much money? And even so, you buy the alcohol, then you have to put these massive bottles inside your suitcases and cart them around with you and bring them home. I don't know. To me, that just seems like way too much work. I would rather, if I was going to buy booze, just buy it back home and, 5 minutes to the store and 5 minutes back and you're finished. This doesn't seem equitable to me. I don't know. But again, maybe that's just me. Maybe there is a reason for buying it overseas. You let me know. Maybe it is that much cheaper. I have no idea. I don't drink, so, but it just seems strange. This is the central square, right in front of the tiny terminal there, where you come through from the cruise ships and where you first get off here in St. Kitts. You see the mountains off there in the distance and the lovely setting of the island. Over on that side in the corner there is a massive Hard Rock Cafe. It's hard to tell what kind of business it's doing, but it's here if you want to get your Hard Rock Cafe t-shirts. Not even sure that's still a thing. So we are slated to return to Atlanta on Tuesday, and I checked the weather forecast this morning and it says snow, which is insane, because if you know anything of our history, which most of you don't, so I'll let you in on it, several times when my wife has gone overseas to Asia and returned to Atlanta on, I believe, 3 occasions, 3 separate occasions, 3 separate years, she returned when it was snowing. Now, those of you who are familiar with Atlanta, you know that it doesn't snow all that often there, usually about once a year. So the fact that she came back on 3 separate years and arrived back when it was snowing is almost unbelievable. And the fact that we are returning from this 2-month-long cruise to Atlanta and we are going to arrive on a day when it is snowing, I just feel like she must have some sort of magical power or something, because it's pretty unbelievable. But that is what we have to look forward to when we return home. So we shall see. I kind of hope it is snowing. I'd like to see some snow after all of this beautiful sort of tropical weather. All right, so it looks like we're going to go in here and see if we can find some t-shirts or hats, souvenirs to buy for some folks back home on our last stop. Some stuff we can pack away in the suitcase relatively easily and bring back to our friends back home. And this place looks like as good a place as any to start. Got quite a lot of different choices as far as t-shirts and hats go. So we'll have to pick out a few designs and we'll show you what we find later on. All right, so shopping is done. We just dropped $132 on souvenirs here at Nevis and St. Kitts, but we got plenty of stuff for everybody back home, so I think everybody will be happy with what we were able to find. And some of the t-shirt designs and things like that in there were not half bad, so I'll model them for you later. How's that sound, YouTube? So we've just passed through the cruise terminal on our way back to the boat, and I noticed there might have been a bit of gamesmanship going on back there. I had said earlier that there was a Hard Rock Cafe here, but on closer inspection it was simply just a building that said Hard Rock in the font similar to the Hard Rock Cafe. So don't get your hopes up if you were thinking you were going to visit the Hard Rock Cafe in St. Kitts, because appearances can be deceiving. It's getting close to sail away now, so everybody and their mother is returning to the boat. Got a huge crowd in front of us and quite a crowd behind us making their way out here onto the pier to make back to the boat. We're parked right next to the Norwegian Viva, which is one of their newer ships. I'm going to give you a shot of that as we walk down the pier here. It also gives you a pretty commanding view of the mountains and whatnot that frame the city here in St. Kitts. There they are, the Viva and the Majestic Princess, parked next to each other here at the dock in St. Kitts. Over here to the left is the Carnival Dream, and back over behind us is the city itself. There's a nice view of the bay there and some of the homes over there across on the point. Very, very pretty view from here. And up top here you can see this wonderful view of the cloud-covered mountains, which are just gorgeous. One interesting aside to our visit here was an observation. So back home, I'd always heard of this place referred to as Nevis and St. Kitts in that order. But nearly everything on the island, the t-shirts, and the people themselves, when they referred to it as St. Kitts and Nevis, which I guess makes sense since St. Kitts is the bigger island and where the capital is. It's just an interesting difference, though, from how I've always heard it referred to back home. So that's it, YouTube, from St. Kitts. Our last stop on our massive cruise. Wonderful journey. We had a great time. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Were there things I was surprised by and disappointed by? Yes, there were. And I'll actually go over some of that in a wrap-up video in regards to the cruise that I'll be posting in a few days. But aside from that, this was a great place to have our final stop. We really enjoyed it. The weather was beautiful. The town was beautiful. Pretty much everything was beautiful about St. Kitts. Really enjoyed it, and especially considering it's a place that I really never would have considered going to otherwise. It's not someplace that was really on my radar. So if you have it on an upcoming cruise, you definitely have something to look forward to. Until then, I'm the Ugly American. I will see you in the next video. Do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe. Any questions or comments, please put them down below. Later.